You are now listening to the Life in Football podcast. Check out the new website, lifeinfootball.com. Once again, the website is lifeinfootball.com. Thanks for listening.
This is a new day to live your life. This is a new day to try to get right. This is a new day to get on track. Yeah, that's life in football. This is a new day to live your life. This is a new day to try to get right. This is a new day to get on track. Yeah, that's life in football. It's life in football. We are life in football.
Welcome to the Life in Football podcast, baby. I'm your host, Mike Fee.
And this your co-host, Colin Moore. You know we loving life and enjoying football.
Top-notch coaches all around the world. Top-notch coaches all around the world. Today we got Mike Williams on who? Mike Williams, the head coach for Robinson High School. And let me tell you something, man. He was a first-round draft pick, a big-time baller coming out of the state of Florida, one of the top recruits coming out of far as football. He went to USC. He went from the state of Florida to USC, wearing that number 1 jersey. And dog, let me tell you something. He was a baller. And see, this was so important now because he get to come back and share his journey and share his message. Now, not only he a head coach right now, he's somebody who's serving the community, helping these young guys to live their dream. Because he lived his, and that's something we all dream about. Want to go D1, want to go to the NFL. But at the same time, sometimes God may not have that for you. But he was able to be blessed to do that. He achieved high heights. And, man, he was one of the, not just coming out of high school, one of the best football players, but he was one of the best ball players coming out when he left USC as well. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let C-Mo bring him on.
How you doing, Coach?
Hey, C-Mo, Mike. Appreciate y'all. I'm doing well, man. Thank you for having me.
Hey, it's a blessing to have you on, Coach. Now, I got to get it. I got to get it for all the boys who really want to know, because I think you my class 02.
Yes, sir.
So I want to know, because at the time you came out and we came out, all the state of Florida schools was booming. I'm talking about booming. And you could pick who you wanted to pick. So how did USC come to Tampa and take you away from the big 3 at the time, Florida State, Florida, and Miami? Like, how they pulled that out? And then even pull you away from, let's say, a Georgia, because you would have easily fit over there at Georgia, too.
That's funny, man. I think going back way back then is similar to how I live my life now. Mm-hmm. And life is about relationships.
Right.
And USC happened because of a relationship. Lane Kiffin, who's the head coach of Ole Miss now, his brother-in-law was my quarterback at Plant. So he just came out there one weekend while we was throwing. I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
I didn't really care like that because he didn't have on a college shirt and like that. So he's watching us throw and all that. And then later on he says, hey, I'm the coach from USC. I was like, I don't care nothing about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I knew the history of football, but USC wasn't nothing.
Right.
You know, I mean, nothing. Like, they was 4 or 5 wins a year maybe.
Yeah.
So nobody was checking for them. And then, you know, the relationships just started building. He was coming around. He was calling me. And then, you know, that just kind of happened. Like
And
that.
it took off.
But it really was a business decision. You know, I probably wasn't even, I wasn't top 50, maybe, going into my senior year as a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Just because, and even now to this day, Hillsborough County, for whatever reason, don't get a lot of respect on the state landscape. People like down south, they like the panhandle. Hell, sometimes they even like, we ain't gonna talk about that. But, you know, Hillsborough County always had to fight for respect.
Right.
So Ryan Moore, Deshaun Platt, all these dudes that was big time ballers.
Right.
They was from bigger areas. They was getting a lot more pub. You know, so I was just kind of like in the shadows. So, you know, I wasn't highly coveted with the Florida schools. Right. So I wanted to go somewhere I was wanted that also had a plan for my life. And when I sat down with Coach Chow, he was the first coach that was like, hey, we gonna use you like this. We gonna go 82 stem, we gonna run this. Hey, when we do this, when they do da-da-da, he had a pad, he was breaking it down.
Right.
These other coaches was coming there, hey, you a tall guy, we gonna throw your jump balls, we gonna do all that. And I'm like, that ain't even my game. Like if you look at my high school film, I might have had one high point ball on the whole highlight. So that wasn't even my game. So I just went to USC because Coach Chow, he laid it out like he had a real vision for how he was gonna use me.
Right.
Instead of just going to, and that's how I coach my kids now. I don't go chase them shiny labels just because they're a ranked team and you see them, go to the school that's gonna really fit you. So I knew, Guy had his plan, but I knew I had a chance to succeed at SC just because of I signed up for how they was gonna use me more than just like the flash and the logo.
Right. You picked a major decision because to me, on the outside, I remember it like yesterday, so I don't know how you remember it, but that catch you made, that pretty much, man, it was like you at the back of the end zone and said, boy, give me that ball. Y'all can't guard me. Give me the ball at all times. I got this. But from going to USC and going to the league, like when did you know that you actually wanted to be a coach? Like when did that come to you, man? Because you handling business here in
Man, I always wanted to be a coach.
Mm-hmm.
There's an article I got saved that said when I was like 9 years old, and they asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. And I said I wanted to be a history teacher and a high school football coach.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I always knew I wanted to coach. And it go back to my first youth league coach, Buddy Rogers, TBYFL, RIP Buddy. He was the first coach I had that like really poured into me and like made me feel more than what I was coming from West Tampa, and I grew up in a foster home and all that. So he was the first dude I got around, and I just appreciated how he made me feel about myself. So I was like, damn, when I get older, that's why I want to be the young dudes. So you go play football, you make this money and do all that, but these last 11 years of coaching, really I've been living my dream.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy with that.
Man, this is so special because listen what he said now. He said this, and see, I like when people speak things into existence. And he pretty much did that at 9 years old without even thinking about it. Boom, just said it. And here it is today. And I remember when I first heard about Mike Williams, it was a long time ago. And I was getting ready to go to junior college. And my roommate at the time, his name was Genario. And I can't remember, I think it was Genario Jenkins. I can't remember his last name. But he was from Tampa. He kept talking about Mike Williams, man. And so we were talking on the phone during the summer before we went to junior college. He was like, man, Mike Williams, man, he gonna tear it up at USC. And do you know him? You familiar with Genario or Genario?
Genario.
Yeah.
Short caramel dude.
Yeah,
Right.
That's him.
He went to JUCO with us, man.
Yeah. So he was bigging up Mike, and so this was early, y'all. I'm talking about early in the game. So I'm like, man, and sure enough, turn around, he wasn't lying. Mike Williams was tearing up the scene at USC. And back then he would call me and just be like, I told you, he hang up the phone. So, like, give me your insight for when you knew, like, cause let me give y'all a short story. I played at Alabama State. So when we played Troy my junior year, and I'm on the field, I'm making plays, batting down passes, and at one point during the game, I was like, man, I could play in the NFL. I don't know why, but I was just balling so good, I just thought that to myself, like, man, I could play in the NFL. This kind of easy to me. So at what point you thought, like, man, you know what? I can't be stopped. Like, I can go to the NFL or what? Like, what point you knew you were that guy?
Man,
that boy finna say Little League.
No. I'm gonna be real. Probably towards the end of my freshman year in college. And mainly because Kiff had set me down. And he was like, yo, like, you over 1,000 yards. And he started naming the corners I went against. Roderick Hood, all these guys, Terrence Newman, Carlos Rogers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
First round, boys.
Brandon Browner, Nnamdi Asamoah. You went to Cal. Nnamdi went to Cal.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So my freshman year, I do like 1,200 yards or whatever, and about 6 or 7 of the guys that I went against
first round.
They all got drafted, but about 4 of them overall was like first round guys. So, and the only dude I had a bad game against was T. New, and it wasn't that he was on me. I was just dropping the ball.
Yeah.
Because I remember that matchup like it was yesterday. I heard about Terrence Newman the whole year.
Yeah.
He a dog. He gonna be the first corner. Did it, and that was the first time I stepped on my nuts. I was just so hyped about a matchup that I went out there. I beat him, dropped the ball. I beat him, dropped the ball. National TV. They got Darren Sproles. The whole thing. We lose in overtime. It was a big deal there. But just who I was going against my first year, Marcus Trufant. At Washington State. He go first round. So who I was going against and what I was doing, Kip was the first one that was like, hey, like, man, like you on.
Yeah.
Like, and then I was Pac-10 freshman of the year. I was freshman All-American. And then all that started rolling. Then I kind of was like, okay.
I can do it.
Okay, and then that next year when I really, it was a little, that next year came so easy to me. It just came so easy to me.
Dominating.
And that's when I was kind of like, yes, I can get to the show. But it wasn't until I actually got out there and then somebody turned on that like, no, the dudes you doing numbers against, like, these is dudes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was like 3-4 year, it was like older dudes. So, that kind of woke me up. But I think coming from Tampa and just never being like a top name dude and a big name dude, I never kind of jumped on that. Yeah. And I think coming to LA, I came with a different kind of hunger because I wasn't one of them. I was a 3-star,
right.
3-star dude. And, we had the number 1 player in the country for back-to-back years. And so I had dudes in my class that I had read about in the magazines all the way in Tampa.
Yeah.
Darnell Bean, Winston Justice. You talking about dudes that's, first round dudes and went first round in their own right. So it wasn't easy in that regard going out there knowing that, like, damn, you the 3-star. He a 4-star, he a 5-star, he a 5-star, he number 2 ranked, he did.
Right.
So it took a different type of grind at the time. So it worked out.
You sure balled on him.
Yeah, he did. Now I want to hear a little bit about how it was for you growing up, like, and like your family. Who helped you to become the person that you are today?
My grandma Gertrude, she adopted me and my sisters when she was like 63 years old out of foster home. So I grew up in a foster home in Assassin. That's pretty much all I know. And we got adopted when I was 4. My grandma Gert just kind of, she kind of put everything in my heart and between my ears, and I'm still that to this day. I'm still yes sir, no ma'am.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of the same way, and it served me well in the sense of who I am socially. I don't, I take pride. All the football stuff is one thing, but I take pride that. I ain't been arrested.
Right.
I don't hit women. It's other things as a man that you can hang your hat on.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So I always champion her and how I feel about women and the respect I show and all that. It's indicative of her. So
right.
I was raised by an older black woman from Alabama.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So God bless. So.
Yeah, and see y'all heard that message he just gave. Yes, sir. No, ma'am. That stuff go with you a long way, man.
Not going to jail, not hitting women.
And see, he putting out some good information. And look, y'all, he a mentor to young men today. And that's what's so special about when you get people who done walked it and they ain't just talking it. You know what I'm saying? So that's real special that he that guy who's gonna make sure things happen for his players too, because he done did everything, that they trying to do as well. And I remember when, just hearing about him at USC, and then they ended up having a linebacker they got from Florida, last name Rivers. Keith Rivers,
we're still friends to this day.
Yeah. He ended up going over there. Yeah. So it was like, my God, because I was kind of like Simo at that point. What's really going on at USC? And now this become the time when USC started taking over, where you were like, Then the Reggie Bush man, that's when they started building almost.
Pete Carroll was your coach.
Yes, sir. He was in his second. He was going into his second year. USC was USC was 6-6, and they had lost in the Vegas Bowl. I think the only thing they did was kick a field goal. They had lost to Utah. And everyone was like, man, why are you going there? Like, they sorry. But like I said, I knew the history. And I knew the history of college football. And I knew what kind of school it was as far as who done came up out of there. So it wasn't no turning me off of it. Yeah. And then LA is just its own thing in itself. So,
come on, Mike, talk to us about that, man. How was it in LA? Florida boy from Tampa. I know they call you a country boy and all that. How was it going to USC
and
another
in
LA?
boy went from
Mike Ross. He was my roommate. Mike is St. Pete Catholic. Mike Ross came from St. Pete Catholic. I think it started with Coach Carroll. And for me, I still live this way. It's all about the people. Yeah. Like, everybody want to talk about Coach Mike and Wharton and how Wharton doing. Yeah, that's all good and great. But it's some other 10 coaches. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's some team moms. It's some people that's helping out. People think it's the head guy that's like, yeah, you wear the captain hat and all that, but it's all them other people. Right. And coaching wise, that's why it's easy for me to fire coaches, or if they're not who I think they are, and I like to stay with the same coaches because it's genuinely about the people. And I think Coach Carroll was the first person that turned me on to that. Like, you can be a good head coach, but you only as valuable as your assistants. See, people don't understand. Nick Holt was a head coach. Coach Burns was a head coach. Ed Ogeron was a head coach. Steve Sarkisian, head coach at University of Texas. Lane Kiffin, head coach at Ole Miss. And so on and so on and so on. So you got all these knowledge and all these decent people under one roof, because as a head coach, you can't expect 60-something, and in college, 100-something kids, young men, all going to be motivated by your voice. Right. And they all going to respond to you. They may respect me. You may be able to get across the kid a little different than me. Right. You know what I'm saying? You may be able to get across the kid a little different than me. That don't mean I ain't got no respect. That don't mean none of that. It just means that you got to be able to make sure you got people who also can build your kids up and motivate them and do all that. So that was the first thing that I took from Pete was it's about the people, man. And SC, he didn't have to win and recruit. Coach Ogeron could get a kid. Coach Kiffin to get a kid. Sorry, like it was more than one person that could reel that big fish in. You know what I mean? So we was all over the place. Florida, this place, Texas, yada, yada, because you had different ambassadors of the program who was standalone entities in their own right. And, so now nobody was safe. Right. And I don't want to say that, but it's kind of similar when I got back to Tampa. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Turn around, turn program into a winner. Yeah. And now it's hate from every direction. Right. People feel like their kids ain't safe. Right. You know what I mean? Like, don't everybody got no problem with Mike Williams. Right. They care less about me. Like, who am I? Nobody care about that. It's like, damn, it's another game in town that can get these kids. Yeah. You know what I mean? So so ain't nothing ever personal to me. Right. It's more so just the competition of collecting talent. And, me being at Wharton, people was like, damn, how Wharton getting kids all of a sudden. Right. How was Tech? How was Armwood? How was these schools losing to Wharton? Right. Yeah. I learned a little something about I learned a little something about relationships and how to get people together and all that. So, and that's been for good or worse. Moving forward down here in the city. So. Hey, you know what? We're gonna be out there to see you. We're gonna be out there to see you. We're gonna be on. I'm on 10 about Robinson, man. Yeah, I'm on 10. Everybody want to get into why you leave? Why you? It was just time. Yeah, I'm saying it was just time to do something. It was time to switch it up. We go. Yeah, I'm gonna be out there. Hey, I'm gonna be right there. We're gonna do it now. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it now. We're gonna do it. So I'm excited. We got some good kids. Quarterback out of his mind. Balling. 2 years from now, he'll be the best. He'll be one of the best kids in the county. So,
y'all heard it first. Yeah. 24 Sports. Hey, don't worry about it. He done already gave you one.
Yeah.
And see, when you were talking about USC back then, for the younger people, now we got to break it down for y'all. Y'all see Alabama as the big dog now. But then at that point, just that quick, USC had turned into the big dog. Well, it had me even looking at them like, the uniform. For some reason, when you win, your uniform look better. The helmet shine brighter. And I don't know what it is. Is it just the element or what? But like,
it's the winning. It's the winning.
Yeah. Okay. Cause it's almost like they in a souped up car and everybody else riding in the Corolla. No disrespect to the people riding Corolla, but just for you, Mike, coming out of USC, going into the NFL, it's like you was almost in the NFL, like the way USC was looked at, and then you go to this space where it's supposed to be a bright spot. But like, how was that for you leaving USC and going to the NFL? Did you know you were gonna get drafted first round? And then when you got there, was the NFL like what you thought it was?
Man, I sat out that year. I had to sit out a year because with the draft rule, they had changed the draft where younger guys could go. And then I declared, and then they changed the rule back for dudes that couldn't go. And they was like, man, you don't need to sit out a year. You can.
You and Colorado almost kind of did it.
You ain't got to sit out a year. You can appeal. They'll probably sit you about 4 or 5 games. You can finish the season.
You had to train all year.
Yeah. So I was like, no, I'm good. Because we practice hard. That's what people don't understand. Like USC, it's a war.
Yeah.
Monday through Friday, Monday through Thursday. Yeah, I'm talking about the dude on the other side of you is trying to whoop your ass.
Yeah.
And it's a dude that's right there waiting for you to mess up so he can jump in there and not give you your spot back.
Yeah.
So competition, it was, we couldn't wait to get to Saturday. Like we wanted to get some other people. Like, we was tired of you. You couldn't get over on your own teammates.
Right.
So by the time we got to Saturday, it was like,
oh,
y'all sorry as hell. Because we were so competitive. During the week, and it just, I feel like when I went to the league, I learned a lot about me. Some people motivated by money, and I think in the NFL, if you're not motivated by money, it can be a deterrent.
Mm-hmm.
It could slow you down. And I genuinely felt like why I didn't do as well as maybe I should have is because I wasn't motivated to make a lot. I wasn't motivated by the money.
Right.
I signed $10 million. My signing bonus was $10 million.
Dang.
So,
they gave you the bank right out the gate. Yeah.
Dudes trying to find you like, hey, we gonna find you 5,000. I'm looking at them like,
I got 10 million.
bro, like I already got more money than I ever thought I was gonna get.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think my issue as a young dude was I didn't want to be there. And I didn't understand the business part of you gotta fake it till you make it. Like, even though you don't want to be in this place, you gotta be a pro. You gotta be a professional.
Right.
You gotta show up every day. I'm coming off a year off. I had already set off a year off. I got this GM, he's saying like, boy, and shit like that when he talking to me. So, me and Millen, like, we never got along.
Yeah.
Martin Mayhew, the Bucks player, who's now the GM for the the Commanders.
Yeah.
He was the assistant GM in Detroit. Mm-hmm. So if it weren't for Martin, I probably would have been 10, 15 minutes up there. I would have been gone. You know what I'm saying? But Martin, he took me under. He's like, hey man, he kind of turned down that West Tampa, turned down all that because I always felt like because I had grew up at Plant and I was around white folks and I had, the white adopted people that I was around and that was kind of prevalent. There was a little bit of me that I always felt like people was trying me because of that.
Right.
Like, cause
Yeah.
I don't want to.
I know. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I don't want to say it, but it was kind of like, he got white parents. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
It was. I went about it the wrong way as far as like me just trying to like, nah, like I ain't know that. Like,
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But then I kind of understood the business of it, and then Mike Martz from the Rams he came the second year. He brought me in his office. He was like, hey man, I'm just gonna be honest with you. There ain't no light at the end of the tunnel for you. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, and if you do see some light, it's a train. And I was like, damn.
And run you over.
I was like, damn, white man, for real. So, you know what I mean? He out there told me off the rip, going into my second year, I don't want nothing to do with you. You know what I mean? Like,
that's tough.
I don't want nothing to do with you, whatever. Rob Marinelli, the Bucks D-line coach for a while, he was the head coach.
Right.
I go to Rob, like, hey, what's up? Hey, look, you gonna have to deal with it.
God,
you gonna have to deal with it. So that was like Coach Marks presented that first situation of like, really, like sink or swim. Like, bitch, ain't nobody coming to save you.
Right.
Like, what you gonna do?
Right.
And Dre Bly, who just went back to Detroit, as a DB coach from North Carolina. Blizz pulled me aside. He used to call me Young Millie. He was like, hey, Young Millie, check this out. How you going to win is just dominate. He was like, you got a year fighting them. You ain't did nothing. What you got to show for it? You've been fighting them for a whole year. What you got to show for it? Half the time you're inactive. So he was like, man, I'm going to challenge you. Just come out here and whoop us every day. And I was like, damn, all right.
Yeah.
And I did that every day. Because they was putting me through it, man. They was putting me through it. I would do all the team reps, and then they'll turn around and I'll do all the scout team reps.
Ooh, you was getting work,
Yeah,
boy.
I was getting work. So, and they'll make me the man.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we playing the Cardinals this week. Oh, you wear 11. You Larry Fitzgerald. It's coming to you every time.
Yeah.
We're playing the Texans. Oh, you Andre Johnson. It's coming to you every time. Or we playing someone's. We playing. Oh, you Jason. Whoever it was, whoever the guy was.
You was out there
Just
getting it to
volume,
him.
just volume.
Yeah.
Just volume. And sure enough, it made me. I got better. I was in better shape. Just killing them. And then finally, I started getting active, and I was leading the team in receiving. End of the season, I'm like, I got to go.
Yeah.
Like, I felt good. I knew I was a good player, but I was like, I don't want to show that here.
Yeah.
I got to go.
Got to get up out of there.
I got to get up out of here. Then Kiffin, he got the Raiders job. He got the head coach job for the Raiders. He called me like, hey,
let's get it.
I'm finna get you out of there.
Yeah.
You and McCown, I'm finna get you and Josh McCown. Like, come on.
Yeah.
The whole time he telling me, I want Calvin Johnson. I'm like, okay. You're gonna bring Calvin to Oakland. Like, you're gonna get rid of some of this money on the books.
Yeah.
Keep Ronald Curry, get rid of a couple other guys. Like, boom, we got action.
Yeah.
Man, I get to Oakland and it just don't. None of that shit work out.
Yeah.
One, Al Davis does not want Kiff to take Calvin Johnson.
Oh, okay.
At all. He's standing on the table. I want Jamarcus Russell.
And boy, y'all two boys would have balled out there.
I want Jamarcus Russell.
So he threw the program under the ground.
Yeah, so and then we end up taking Jamarcus.
You know how that went.
The Lions draft Calvin Johnson. Who do you think Calvin Johnson scores his first NFL touchdown
on the Raiders?
Oh, my God.
At Oakland, the Oakland Raiders, Detroit, flying through the air like MJ. Catch that. Kiff look at me like,
yeah, y'all would have been killing it out there, yeah.
So the league is I say all that to say, like, it's relationships, it's business, it's adversity, and it really is a mentality of, man, nobody coming to save you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Nobody coming to save you. See Mo and Mike, yeah, we all buddy. But when there's one spot,
somebody got to get it.
When it's one spot,
yeah.
Hey, you gonna get in that room and coach gonna ask a question. Yeah, I'm gonna look around for the answer. Y'all gonna look at the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a competitive environment that just ain't for the weak. And, I think for me as a coach, that is where my coaching is. Mm-hmm. My coaching is not for the X's and O's part of it, like, or your talent. My coaching and what I try to put on my kids is being able to be tough during the tough times.
Right.
Because you're gonna have the tough times.
Right.
Whether you're trying to make a team, whether you're trying to be the guy for a spot, whether you're just trying to interview for a job at Tico or T-Mobile or somewhere, like, you're gonna have these tough spots. You're gonna have this adversity. And I think for young dudes nowadays that live in an instant world, they got all this social media that, Amazon delivered the next day. Prime, they want the instant gratitude that even the parents are subconsciously on the same thing. And I see them, they try to hide their kid from adversity. Mm-hmm. They see a coach or somebody putting their kid through something, and then instead of watching their kid go through that and being better for it, they'll just move them
somewhere
take
else.
them to another coach, take them to another, So for me, I try to make it more about, hey, if you who you supposed to be, the football part gonna take care of itself.
Exactly.
Like who you supposed to. That's why I put such a premium on school. Mm-hmm. That's why I put such a premium on grades. It's a few schools around here that beat me, but them schools can't say they had 30 kids. 3.0.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to have the wins in totality. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Some people have good football teams. Some people have good football programs.
Right.
You know what I mean? What's your GPAs looking like?
Yeah.
What's your school attendance looking like?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Things like that, not just what the Friday night result is. Mm-hmm. Because if you walking that line the right way, the Friday night part will take care of itself.
Easily.
So I just think that's my approach with these kids and with these parents. Let your kid go through something. You know what I'm saying? You know the difference if you got a good coach and you got a good person.
Right.
You got both. You know what I'm saying? Because some kids, they may not need a good coach as much as they need a good person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's going to tell them the right things and do the right things. So my league experience in that regard is really that's what I take from this. I feel like I evaluate talent really well just because of my background with recruiting and doing these college camps and doing these 4-5 star rising star camps. So I feel good about saying you this, you that, you not. You know what I mean? But that's really it, man. The league, just that experience just kind of shaped me for coaching. And people need to know, man. You know, these young dudes need to know. Ain't nobody coming to save you. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody coming to save you. So don't look around. Don't look around. You know, you know what I mean? You better look forward. You know what I'm saying? You better look forward and get on your grind.
Man, that was some great information, man. That was Mike Williams, the head coach at Robinson High School and a former first-round pick, former big-time high school athlete. He just gave y'all some game, man, some major information that I think every athlete and every young man, not even if you don't even play sports, could take. Young ladies, y'all can take this as well. Parents need to hear this. There's some information that can give you light at the end of the tunnel. Sometimes we blinded and it's all the social media, the likes and everything. Everybody, they want the likes. LIKES, the likes. That's what they want. But a lot of times, that ain't necessarily helping you. And Mike Williams gave some great information from growing up to the league, you know, and he was truthful about a lot of information. And, you know, I even was thinking when I was listening to him about some of my stuff, you know, and he had me zoned in like I was an athlete, like I was his player. So, you know, there's some great information, and I'm telling y'all, man, he a guy that I would want to be a part of his team. Not that we recruiting for him. I'm just saying I would want to be a part of his squad and learn this information that he putting out. But I'm gonna leave y'all. I always leave y'all. Keep your head up and not down, or else you'll fall to the ground. This is the Life of Football Podcast. Catch you next time.
I appreciate y'all.